Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Daisy Sunshine and I'm happy to be back on your screens. If you are new here and haven't yet subscribed, please subscribe because you're going to love this episode. I had mentioned earlier that we are starting a new segment on the channel where we listen to couples tell us about their love journey, their love stories. So Mark and I are going to be telling you our love story and answering some fun questions from Date Night Cards. Let's get into it. So with me today is my husband, who is not a guest to this channel, but welcome back, babe.
I'm a guest.
No, you're not. Permanent resident. You have sticks in this place. Welcome
I'm happy
back.
to be here. Thank you so much.
Are you ready for my questions?
I hope so. Yeah, if I can't answer, I'll say I can't answer.
No, there's no can't answering it. Okay?
Okay.
We'll start with some icebreaker questions. What do you have a hidden talent or hobby that I don't know about?
I don't know if you know, but I think you know all my hidden talents.
Do you know all of mine?
No.
Do you know that I can turn my hands from behind to front?
I know that one. I know that one. Yeah.
I think that's my hidden talent.
Yeah. For me, all the talents are not many, but you know them.
Okay. And how do you relax after a long day?
I like to watch something interesting. So it's probably going to be the car content or...
Funny you say that. That's interesting because you always doze off while watching your car videos.
It depends on the time of the day. But yeah, I probably will doze off relaxed.
For me, after a long day, I like to... This one I need to change. I like to doom scroll. Like I'll just lie down on the bed. I don't want anyone to disturb me and I'll just be scrolling on social media. I need to change that.
Yeah,
but I also like to watch something, a series without interruption. I just want to be for a minute.
Maybe we should change that. We should talk to each other while relaxing.
But you see, babe, like during the day, I'm interacting with people. I'm more of a people person than you are. So at the end of the day, I'm probably all peopled out and I just need a little bit, because I'm an ambivert, so I need a little bit of just Daisy.
You find me asleep.
I usually do. Okay, I'll see how to improve that. And what's your favorite way to spend a day off?
I don't know. It's been a long time since I had a day off. But I would probably love to just take a walk, eat out, spend time with the kids. Yeah. And probably watch videos.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, because I'm always interested in learning more about my industry.
If you didn't know, my husband is a car enthusiast. Probably, I think the one person I know in the world that loves cars as much, more than anything. I think after God, your wife, your kids, cars.
Yeah.
For me, how I'd love to spend a day off, I'd love to sleep in. I know that I have nothing to do when I wake up. I wake up when I choose.
Yeah.
Have breakfast in bed.
Okay.
Or go to a restaurant, because breakfast is my favorite meal of the day. Go to a restaurant, maybe watch something. I just want to relax and know that the next activity is not a must.
Wow. Just thinking about it, I think we need to work on that.
We need to have a day off, right?
Yeah, but also, you know how people say, when I'm in my free time, I read a book. It's like we read books when we're not free. I
listen to audiobooks.
Yeah.
So when I'm driving, I'll listen to something. But we need to read more physical books. So what are we going to do about that?
Well, we have the books. We just have to read them. When we at the day off, we have to try and use that time also to read books.
Oh, I introduced something for the kids while they were on holiday. The praying when you wake up, then have quiet time, which is read a book, and then they have circle time where they talk about the books that they have read. So
to each other.
Yeah, the younger two will picture read, and then of course we've read the books to them before, so they know what the story is like. So they'll just sit down and tell each other the stories. So I think that's something we can do. We can also do our own pray, quiet time,
we just have to
and circle time.
To doing it.
I can do it, but you, my dear, my darling husband,
I can.
So we're going to answer some questions from the So This Is Forever Date Night cards, which is something that I have created and is up for sale. And yeah, you're going to get to know us. Some of the questions are spicy.
Those are the ones I'll say I can't answer.
No, you will be able to answer them.
Let's see.
So you're going to pick at random.
Random. Why don't you start?
No, you're picking first.
Okay.
You're a semi-guest.
I'm supposed to ask you. Right? Okay. What is something we have in this relationship that you didn't think was possible?
Something we have in this relationship that I didn't think was possible? I would say our kids. There was a certain point growing up where I'll just be curious, like, can I have kids? Like, can I actually have kids?
Mm-hmm.
So I would say our kids, because it was a thought that I used to have. And you?
I think the amount of time we spent together, I didn't think that was possible. Yeah, because I think in these early years of our marriage, we have spent a lot of time together. I don't know what will happen in the coming years as we get busier, but that's something we have, and I think it has helped us to know more about each other as well.
That's actually a good one. I need to think of a better one that doesn't involve the kids.
Yeah, but now we need to pick another one.
Okay, my turn.
Okay.
What do you wish I understood more about you?
I can't answer that one.
You can. What do you wish?
All right. What do I wish you
about?
understood more about me? I think about a lot of things, and I think a lot. So I spend a lot of time in my head. So that's something I wish you understood more about me, to be able to tell, am I maybe stressed? Although God says we shouldn't be stressed. Am I thinking about something? Why am I planning something? Because all those have different emotions that show on my face. Yeah.
Okay. For me, what I wish you understood more about me is that I like a slow morning. Like I want to, like say I'm supposed to wake up at 5. I'll usually set my alarm like 10 minutes before 5, then 5 minutes before 5, then 5, because I want my brain to wake up slowly, which is something you don't understand, guys. The way my husband wakes up is time to wake up, and then he's just ready to go. Yet for me, I want to like just ease into the day.
So if you want to wake up at 5, I'll wake you up at 4 and give you time.
No, even though waking up at 4 is like, babe,
it's time.
Almost 5.
5 o'clock is in 1 hour.
Babe, no, not 1 hour. No, that would be annoying.
5:15. 5 is 4:15.
No, that would be annoying. Yeah. I also wanted us, while we answer these questions, to share our love story. So how did we meet?
I think I can answer that question in maybe a minute or less. We met at school, at university. Second year is when we kind of got to like officially say, oh, I'm Daisy, Mark is my name.
Yeah.
And where do you sleep, or what are your interests? Who is your father? Who is your mom? And what's your future? What plans do you have in the future? So honestly, I didn't think that we would
end up together.
And I didn't expect it.
Why not?
Yeah, because I didn't think that you were my type. I didn't think you were.
But I was out of your league, or you were out of my league.
I can't answer that one. But we didn't really. I didn't think this would work. I was really comfortable just being a friend. So the friendship anyway ended up into a more serious relationship.
How
guess
did it
because
end up?
I think because we realized we have so much chemistry, and there's so many things we envision together, and it would probably, in hindsight, would achieve them more easily together. So I think the long-term friendship ended up into a more serious relationship, and here we are.
Because the chemistry was too much.
I think we understood each other more easily.
Okay.
Yeah.
For me, it was love at first sight. I'm joking.
I think
I'm
you're,
joking.
yeah.
But okay, for me, what I remember, I think you noticed me before I noticed you. And there was a friend of yours who was pursuing me,
Mm.
and I think you were like his wingman. So when he needed to spend time with me, you'd tag along.
Well, not exact. It's not exactly accurate when you say it that way, but we're friends, okay, and um, it's just how like okay, can we have this coursework, and I asked Daisy
To
to
explain it.
explain. So if you haven't understood it, come and we go together. So yeah, let's go. So I was more like supporting than wingman.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, so during that period, I think we had a recess term, and then you used to walk me to the taxis every day. And I think that's how our friendship grew even.
Yeah.
I used to have lunch with my dad every day, almost every day, and you would escort me to the taxis, and I'd go find my dad and then come back. Then that walk down, if you know Makerere University, there's a walk down to the main gate. And it was that walk where we got to know more about each other, and I guess that's where the chemistry grew. And then we decided to go to church together.
Like the midweek.
We decided to go to church together.
Thursday evening, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. I think spending time together allowed us to get to know one another better. And then, how did you ask me to be your girlfriend? Do you remember? You do?
Well, so my best man is also my mentor. So he told me, I think you're in love, but you're not realizing you're in denial or something like that. So he said, women are very interesting. Girls, I say girls. Okay, they're very interesting. So you want to state your case
quickly.
Yeah, otherwise you can get disappointed or you can disappoint her. Okay?
Off the shelf.
Yeah, so you want to just let her know what your plans are, and it doesn't hurt for a Christian to be, because we're raised in a way where it's like if you're with a girl, you better marry her or something like that. Okay, so I was really careful on I didn't want to make a mistake. So he told me no, ask her out and see how the relationship goes.
So how did you ask? Do you remember?
Yeah, I think I got a red candle, scented. Was it scented? Yeah, got some flowers. I think after dinner, I asked you out in your hostel. Yeah.
That's so sweet. And you got me chocolate.
Oh.
That was so sweet.
I don't remember that chocolate.
What was your first impression of me?
Well, I didn't think. Initially when I saw you walk into our class, I thought these are one of the girls you never talk to. You don't make a mistake. Just waste time with, and they're just unapproachable and not in your league, not in your category. You can't make silly jokes around them. The best and least you can do, most you can do is hi, how are you,
and move on.
Not even how's your lunch? No.
My first impression of you was, of course, you were handsome. You are handsome.
Yeah.
But the first thing I noticed was your lips.
I don't do that. Actually, at university we used to have also students who were ahead, but then they would come back
with a retake.
To take a course. So, but I think, and usually they had that demeanor. They're quiet. They sit close to the front. They don't really talk to people, or they talk to their
friends
who are in similar circumstances. Yeah. So, no.
So you thought it was a retake?
Yeah, I thought she had a retake.
Wow.
I thought, how come she's coming for every lecture?
Must have be retaking
missed
the
like a whole year
year
or something. Yeah. I remember, I think we had like 5 course units or something. So she must have failed all of them.
Wow. Only to discover that you have such an intelligent wife.
Yeah, I found
actually never retook any course throughout.
Well done. What is a small romantic gesture that still melts your heart?
There was a time I was having a really hard day. I don't remember. Well, there are two. I was having a really hard day, and I think you had gone to work. I had worked from home, and you came back with a small bar of chocolate. My love language is not gifts, but just the thought of you were going about your day, and then you thought to pick me chocolate. I love chocolate. You thought to pick me chocolate.
Yeah.
That was so sweet. And then the second one was during the lockdown, in 2021.
2020 or 2021?
2021, around my birthday in Feb. And we were going through that debt pit. I think we'll share or have shared that story. If you watched me at Centonomy, then I shared that story. So that birthday, I didn't expect to have anything. And it made me so sad. I remember at midnight I was crying so much. I was pregnant. I was crying so much, and you came and found me and asked me what's up. I said, I don't know. I was crying, but somehow you made the birthday happen. You got pizza, slice of cake, and it was so sweet.
Wow.
And
I think I'm romantic.
I think you are. There's some areas that you can improve, but
I can't be everything, you know?
you can try. What is a small romantic gesture that still melts your heart?
Well, I'm not very good in remembering all of them, but I think one that always will melt my heart is just complimenting me, especially in the work that I do or the work that I'm doing. Yeah, and maybe once in a while saying, okay, you know what, this is something I think you can do. I'm here to help you. I think.
So, words of affirmation, acts of service.
I don't know about acts of service, but I think so, affirmation,
All right. So how did we move from the dating stage to being engaged? Do you remember?
I think that also took time because I wasn't sure, honestly. But over time, with the older people that I was talking to, they said, you know,
I think it was your dad.
if you could get yourself a job,
it was dad.
Yeah, if you could get yourself a job, based on my observation, your relationship is much ripe.
It's ready.
It's ripe, and if you go any further, I think you're gonna have kids
before you're married.
Yeah. So I think that's how we moved on to that.
I think at that point we had dated for 3 years.
Did we do 3 years?
We started dating in
2013, I think.
Yeah.
So
we got married at the end of 2016.
But you know, when you propose, you're no longer dating, I think.
Right? It's the same thing. You're not married. Right? You're not married. It's the same thing.
I mean, you're now engaged, right?
But what I think is that when a couple has been dating for so long, for a long time, and you haven't defined, okay, this is when we're going to move from dating to maybe now we're engaged and planning a wedding.
Yeah.
There are so many, the temptation gets high. Yeah. Because now you feel like you are exclusive. So one thing.
And you get comfortable.
Yeah.
You get comfortable and
that's how you find people spending weekends at each other's house. Yeah. Because I guess that's why Dad advised that, you know what, you're about to. You can't mess up because you're now comfortable. You were out of school.
Yeah. But I think for him, his opinion was, I don't know, I will ask him one of these days. But I think he wasn't so worried about
that.
Yeah, like children and all, but maybe the fact that church community, I think, also I think influences. You don't want to see that you can't explain maybe your child's relationship status, and you don't know much about it. So before he actually said those things, he asked me, how are you guys? What's your how are things going on? For him, based on his, I asked him. He said, "Gosh, I don't remember." But the only thing I remember was, if you could get yourself a job and establish yourself, it doesn't hurt to just seal the deal. Yeah.
And then you seal the deal, and we're quite young.
Exactly my point, because I was asking him, but
just 23. Actually, I had planned to get married at 25.
What do you think? I'm pretty too young or size,
I had planned to get married at 25, and then I think at 25 is when we were having a child.
No. 26. I think.
What do you think I would like to do more often with you?
maybe sleep. But I think something you would like to do
more often.
More
maybe.
often. Yeah, spend time together. More often.
But my love language is touch, not quality time.
Yeah, so spend time together, watching what movies, series. Yeah.
What I think you'd like us to do more often together, I think you'd want me to sit down and you tell me about cars. And you want me to give you all my attention and like really be interested in it, which I struggle.
Yeah, I think that boat sailed. That ship
Not anymore.
sailed, but I don't think so anymore.
But if I did it, babe, it would rock your boat.
Yeah, I've learned. I know how to summarize it. This, done. I don't have to go to the details. The last
What
one.
do you think I want to do? You say to spend time.
I think so. I think so.
Where are the steamy cards? We're not picking steamy cards. I need you to pick one steamy card.
I'm so happy we haven't got a steamy one. So this is the last one, right? What's something that surprised you most when we got married?
What surprised me most? Off the top of my head, I remember when we moved into our apartment, I was just taken aback that the master bedroom is where we sleep now. Like, I sleep in the master bedroom. Because growing up, the master bedroom was always for
the
our parents.
So
now it was just like a reality check, like, girl, you're grown. And then the responsibility that meals were on me.
Yeah.
All our meals were on either to plan or meals were on me. I think that's something that really...
Yes.
And you?
I think it's the same. Just knowing that I have a whole human being
to take care of
in the house that's not living. Yeah.
Forever.
Yeah.
It's such a beautiful privilege. Imagine you get someone from their dad's house and then you're here with them forever.
Easier said than done.
So cool.
It's just that. Okay, so I'm not taking her back home today. She's staying here. I think that was an eye opener. More.
What is something that stood out for you during our dating period?
I think you love to be taken care of a lot. So I think that's something that stood out for me.
For me, it was that you used to drive me home. For context, my parents live in Boyogere and Mark was living in Pelere. Like, if you're not in Uganda, that's worlds apart, east and west. And he would drive me back home every day after a date. He would drive me home and then drive back to your parents. I think that was pretty cool. Okay, now this will be the last set.
The last one.
What weakness of yours do I help compliment the most?
Relaxing, maybe.
You have a weakness of relaxing?
I think in this season, that's something you're helping me to compliment. Just taking one day at a time and just trusting God. Yeah.
Funny that's the weakness I compliment, because for me, the weakness that I believe you compliment is me slowing down. My character and temperament wants things done now, no waiting. I want to make a decision and go with it immediately. And sometimes you're just like, babe, slow down, let's sleep on it. And many of those decisions I've realized that were going to be the wrong ones.
Yeah. So I think we complement each other.
We do. Sometimes you also just need to...
Maybe we are an example of you complete me.
And I complete you.
Yeah.
Only God completes us. Baby, you're cheating. Were those steamy cards?
No, it wasn't
steamy. First put that one back and pick again without looking at them.
Okay.
Pick from the middle.
Let's pick this one. You want me to pick another? Okay. What does love look like for you? How can I love you better?
How does love look like for me? For me, it is all those 5 love languages, but just like in order. My first is touch.
Per day, right?
Per day. Touch. And then I think it alternates between quality time and gifts. They alternate. Acts of service is down. Then words of affirmation is there. Yeah, that's what love looks like for me. The attention, I'm always on your mind, basically.
Yeah, I know. I know.
And what does love look like for you? Oh, and how can you love me better? I think just showing me in different ways that I'm always on your mind.
Okay. You're in my mind.
Even right now.
Okay, my turn. I think.
You don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I think every day, I just need to know that you care. Listening, because I have sometimes a lot of things to say, but I have to calculate. I have to calculate when to say them because all of them to me seem important. So sometimes I may not say much because I'm not sure whether you remember everything. So maybe you might need a notebook.
No, but also, babe, when you want to tell me important things, like you're saying them slowly, I've already seen the end.
Yeah. So yeah, that will help to love me better. Just
listen to
just sit until the ship docks. Yeah.
Okay. Let's just summarize the rest of our story, which I think people know at this point. We dated for 3 years and then got married.
I think it was 2 years.
It was 2 years.
Yeah. Then we got engaged.
We got engaged at the beginning of 2016 and then we got married at the end of 2016. What is something that stood out for you during that period of us engaged to our wedding?
What stood out for me?
A highlight, something that made you happy.
Happy. In hindsight, I think I was glad I made that decision at that age because I think I've been able to do a bit more than if I was single till now. And I think one of the things that excited me as well was the fact that I had no reservations about the person.
Who you were marrying.
Yeah. There's, there are those times when even before the night before the wedding, you have to send one of your friends to your wife to be home, just to make sure she's
still there.
She's sleeping at home, So yeah, so I think that's for
me, I think a highlight in that season, I think I was also just really excited. I couldn't believe that it was me that was going to get married. I remember the first time I was going to try on gowns. I couldn't believe that there were gowns that would fit me. I just felt like a child. Then I remember our vows were so playful and fun. Like that day was fun, and even the season leading up to it was so much fun. If there's anything, this will be my last question. If there's anything you could change from the last 8, close to 9 years that we have been married, what would it be?
In terms of
anything,
the marriage, the relationship,
us.
I think I would be more tough.
Really?
Yeah, I think I'll be more frugal. Maybe,
with money.
Yeah, maybe putting my foot down a bit more on either saving or spending. Yeah. Yeah.
I think that every marriage, like God has a reason and a purpose for every marriage. And I think ours has been the journey of financial enlightenment. And even if you had been more frugal, I guess God would find other ways for us to learn more about finances his way. So I don't take for granted that he has taught us, sometimes even through the fire. We have been baptized by fire, but we have learned about finances. And when we share that story, every time I share that story, people come up to me and they say, Daisy, I'm currently in the pit. Because many of us were raised not talking about money. And then you get married and all of a sudden you have to figure out how to talk about it. You have to figure out money. So I think our story is not in vain. It's not a loss. And that was something I was also going to say.
Yeah.
We would have learned about money earlier because we blew a lot of it in the first years of our marriage and then got more enlightened like by year 5. Was it year 5? Year 4?
Yeah, probably year 5.
Yeah. But I'm glad that we're married and we got married when we did. and then I got married to you.
You're on my mind. I'm telling
Guys, let us
you.
know if you have enjoyed hearing our story and also answering these questions. If you'd like the date night cards, just let me know actually in the comments, and I will send you the link to where you can order for them. And
you'll just put the link in the description.
I can just put the link in the description. And I'll be having more couples on the channel sharing their love story, their love journey, because there is always a lesson to learn, even from a couple that has been married a day. They can share how tips and hacks on how to plan a wedding or anything around that. I will see you in the next video. If you don't leave without subscribing and liking, and I will see you next Friday.
See you.
Bye. I'm waiting for you.